I went to visit my sister on her first day of work at her father-in-law's company. I found her cleaning toilets. Her father-in-law said, "She's only good for this kind of job." Her husband was smiling. My sister saw me and cried out of shame. I said nothing. I just walked out and called. "My name is Gary. I'm 33. Oldest kid, big brother, the reliable one. I own a small toy store in our town, wooden trains, puzzles, those paint-it-yourself little birdhouses. Kids run through the door and forget to be grumpy. That's why I love it. I fix wheels, tie ribbons, wrap birthday presents with too much tape. People joke I'm Santa without the beard. In my family, that turned into a job title, bank. Gary will figure it out. My mom says whenever bills or problems appear like stains on a white shirt. And I did for years. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I went to see my sister on her first day of work at her father-in-law's company. She married young. He hired her to help out. That's what the family said. A lucky start, my mom called it. Connections, my dad added, proud like he'd arranged the sky. I brought flowers. Cheap ones, but bright. I stopped by a bakery for cinnamon rolls because my sister loves the sticky kind with too much icing. I parked behind the warehouse and followed the signs. The lobby smelled like printer paper and lemon cleaner. I asked the receptionist where to find her. Down the hall, left, then another left. The receptionist said without looking up. Facilities. Facilities? I heard a voice before I saw anything. A man's voice, loud, careless. She's only good for this kind of job. There was laughter. A male chuckle. Familiar. Her husband. I stepped through the doorway and froze. My sister was in rubber gloves, face red, scrubbing a toilet. A bucket sat beside her. The flowers in my hand felt like a joke. She saw me, blinked, and her eyes filled fast. She wiped her face with the back of her wrist. It left a wet streak. "Gary, please don't," she whispered. Her father-in-law stood with arms folded, gold watch catching the fluorescent light. "You family?" He asked me like a threat, not a question. I nodded. My mouth tasted like metal. I looked at my sister's husband. He was smiling. Not nervous. Not embarrassed. Smiling. "What are you doing?" I asked him. My voice came out flat. He shrugged. "Everyone starts somewhere." My sister let out a small sound. Half laugh, half choke, and the sound gutted me more than anything. She reached to pull the door closed. "Gary, it's fine," she said, voice tiny. "It's my first day. I'm learning." I didn't say a word. I set the flowers on the floor. I turned around, walked out past the receptionist, past a poster about teamwork, past a clipboard that said safety first. I stepped outside into the sharp afternoon and took a breath that hurt. Then I pulled out my phone. And I called. I should tell you how we got here. I've always been the fixer. Our dad works seasonal construction and disappears when work is scarce. Our mom does hair in the kitchen and calls it a salon. My sister, Mia, is 27 and grew up hearing she had princess potential. She married Daniel last year, and that came with the family package. His father, Mr. Salmon, who owns a mid-sized logistics company, and a bad temper. When I opened the toy shop at 26, I didn't have investors. I had a shoebox of savings and a landlord who liked my idea. I painted the walls myself, bought used shelves, and cut out price tags from cardstock. The first holiday season, I slept in the stockroom between shipments. People liked that I remembered their kids' names. I still have a crayon drawing a 4-year-old handed me that says, "Gary's Train Store," with a crooked heart. I taped it behind the counter for luck. The family liked my shop as a concept. They liked that it made me sweet. They did not like when I started saying no. Before that, it was always yes. Gas money for dad. Just until Friday. Grocery runs for mom. "I'll pay you back when my client shows." Phone bills accidentally charged to my card. My accounts looked like confetti. $1.40 here, $120 there, $300 in a pinch. When Mia got engaged, I covered deposits because Daniel had delays with a bonus. I printed the receipts and filed them in a folder labeled taxes. It should have said habits. Every holiday, the same jokes. "Gary doesn't need gifts. He needs customers," Dad would say. "Gary collects sob stories and stuffed animals," Mom would add, laughing like it wasn't mean. Mia wasn't cruel back then. She was naive. "You're good," she'd say, hugging me tight. "That's why good things happen to you." But good things meant chores and checks, and drives at midnight when someone drank too much. Good things meant my phone buzzing during inventory because Daniel's car died again. "Can you Venmo me for Uber?" When Mia got married, the money problems multiplied. Suddenly, there were in-laws at every table. Mr. Salmon was the kind of man who ordered the most expensive thing and made loud jokes about small-time people. He called my store cute in a voice that made it an insult. At their engagement dinner, he said. When this one, he jerked his chin at me, decides to run a real business, he can come talk to me. Daniel laughed hard, always performing. He sells puzzles, Dad. It's not exactly logistics. Mia looked embarrassed. I made a face that said I didn't care. But that night, I stayed late at the shop, counting boxes of wooden blocks just so the anger could sit down. The wedding had a gift table like a mountain. My gift was cash. I don't do registry fights. That envelope was big for me. For them, it was a postage stamp. The next week, Mom called. We need to talk about the honeymoon fund, she said. There's a gap. How much? Not much, she lied first. Then, 3,000. I felt the number like a slap. Mom, if you love your sister, she said. She's starting a new life. I wired it. Stupid, yes. But the way Mia texted me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You saved us, made it feel less stupid for about 5 minutes. Then came the chats. Family group chat. Rising stars, Mom named it. Photos of dinners. New watch on Daniel's wrist. Captions like, hard work pays off. And we are blessed. If I sent a photo of a child holding a wooden plane, no one responded. If I sent a video of a toddler ringing the little bell by the register after choosing a sticker, Mom would heart it and then paste a link to an article about real entrepreneurship. When Mia told us she'd be working with the family, there were fireworks in the chat. Daddy will teach you. Power couple. No one asked what the job was. No one asked if she wanted it. Then I saw her cleaning the toilet. I didn't call to yell. I called to verify. First, I called Mom. What? She said, already defensive. Do you know where Mia is working? She's lucky, Mom said. Who else will give a young woman a chance like this? With rubber gloves? I asked. On her knees? Silence, then a sigh. Don't be dramatic. Her husband was smiling. I said. Men joke, Mom said. Stop making trouble. Then I called Mia. She didn't pick up. Then I called Daniel. He answered on the second ring, cheerful like a radio host. Gary, you met the team? I saw Mia, I said. Explain. It's the first day, he said. Dad's showing her discipline. It builds character. Everyone starts at the bottom. That's not a bottom, I said. That's humiliation. He laughed. You're sensitive. You always were. He paused and added. By the way, we're moving into a bigger apartment. We'll do a housewarming soon. Bring that famous Gary dip. Something hard settled in my chest. The week after, requests escalated. Mia's car needs new tires. Can you help? We're short on rent while her first paycheck clears. Mom's salon sink cracked, urgent. Each message with a please and 3 heart emojis, like sugar on a bruise. I helped once, twice. Then I opened my accounting app and scrolled. Money out. Money out. My landlord had raised rent at the shop. A supplier wanted prepayment because of market delays. I stared at my numbers and felt a cold line draw through me. I typed in our family chat. We need to talk about money. No one answered for 3 hours. When they did, it was Mom. Not on text. Sunday dinner. 6 p.m. I spent the rest of the week with a knot in my stomach, organizing receipts by category. Mia and Daniel, parents, miscellaneous. I printed bank screenshots and highlighted dates. It felt like homework for a subject I hated. Saturday, I saw Mia at the shop. She came in with sunglasses and a paper cup of coffee. She stood by the display of kites and touched the blue one like it was fragile. I'm fine, she said without me asking. You don't look fine, I said. I can handle it, she said. Don't embarrass me. I won't, I said. But I'm done paying for people who insult you. Her laugh was small and mean, borrowed from someone else. You always act like a hero. I'm tired of acting, I said. She left without buying anything. I watched the bell on the door swing and go still. Sunday dinner was at my parents' house. Plastic tablecloth with cherries. Grease on the stove that had been there longer than any apology. The TV was on in the living room. Low, as if conflict needed a soundtrack. Everyone was already there. Mom with a serving spoon like a scepter. Dad scrolling on his phone. Mia quiet, eyes rimmed red. Daniel smiling, like always. Mr. Salman had invited himself, which is to say he had announced he was coming and no one told him no. Let's eat first, Mom said, which meant, let's corner Gary after dessert. No, I said. Let's talk first. Mom rolled her eyes. Fine, banker. What's your issue? I put a folder on the table. I could feel Daniel's smirk from across the room. This is everything I've covered in the last 18 months, I said. I slid out the first page. Rent catch-up, wedding deposits, honeymoon gap, car repairs, utilities, groceries, loan to Dad for a week. That became 6 months. Dad muttered. I said I'd get it. You didn't, I said calm. Total is $18,420. Mom laughed a little. Drama. I flipped the next page. Average monthly outflow to family, $1,023. My shop's profit last quarter, $1,180 per month. Do the math. Daniel leaned back. So what, Gary? Money comes and goes. Family stays. Not like this, I said. Mr. Salmon cleared his throat, loud. In my house, he announced, though we were not in his house. We respect the providers. Do you respect my sister? I asked him, eyes on his watch, not his face. Or is she just a mop with a heartbeat? Mia flinched. Careful, Daniel said, voice low. Careful, I repeated. I watched your father call her stupid while you smiled. It was a joke, he snapped. It wasn't, I said. I put my phone on the table. Here. I recorded 5 minutes of it. I hit play. His voice filled the small kitchen. She's only good for this kind of job. Then laughter. Daniel's laugh. It sounded worse when it bounced off the fridge. Mom's mouth tightened. Dad looked at the salt shaker like it held answers. I paused the audio. Here's what's going to happen, I said. No more money from me. Not for rent. Not for cars. Not for promotions disguised as favors. I'm not your safety net. I'm not your bank. Mom's tone turned syrupy and sharp. Gary, don't make ultimatums. That's ugly. What's ugly is watching my sister get humiliated and pretending it's a plan, I said. What's ugly is being told I'm sweet while you treat me like an ATM with arms. Daniel's smile cracked. You think you're better than us because you sell toys. I think I've been financing your lifestyle while you play Prince, I said. Dad finally spoke. So what? You'll let your family starve. No one here is starving, I said. And if you were, you'd sell that watch before you text me. Silence. The TV hummed. The smell of overcooked rice hung heavy. Mia whispered, Gary, please. For you, I said, softening only for her. I'll help once, if you want out. Not for another month of this. For a real exit. Daniel stood, chair scraping. She's not going anywhere. She decides, I said. He laughed in my face. You can't tell her what to do. I'm telling you what I won't do, I said. We're done. Mom slammed the spoon down. You're ungrateful. For what? I asked. For being used? She opened her mouth, closed it, and did the thing she always does, went for the throat. No wonder you never married. Who would want? I held up a hand. Stop. Then I slid the last page across the table, a simple spreadsheet with 2 columns. Money in, money out. Dates, memo lines. Receipts. Venmos. Screenshots. The kind of document no one can argue with because numbers don't blush. I'm done, I said again, steady now. Boundaries are not betrayal. I stood. I expected someone to follow me, to drag the fight out the door. No one did. The house made that old settling sound as I left, as if it knew something had shifted inside its walls. The first week after, my phone was a fireworks show. Missed calls. Group chat explosions. Rising stars turned into a courtroom. Mom, you humiliated us. Dad, real men don't keep score. Daniel, you owe Mia an apology. Mia, can we talk alone? I answered only Mia. We met at a coffee shop with sticky tables and good muffins. She wore the same sunglasses. The barista knew my name. He drew a little train next to Gary on the cup. I'm mad at you, she said without hello. That's allowed, I said. You made me look weak, she said. You're not weak, I said. You're in a bad system. Her jaw clenched. I chose my husband. Did you choose his father? I asked. Did you choose to be trained with bleach? She blinked hard. It's not like that every day. Once is too much, I said. Look, I'm serious about help, if it's for an exit. I found a small apartment over a bakery. Month to month. I can cover deposit. I can drive you there with your stuff. I can change the locks. Her eyes flashed, then went flat. So you'll still pay? Just your way. I'll invest in you, I said. Not in them. She tore a napkin into strips. He'll be furious. Men survive fury, I said. Shame rots you faster. She didn't answer. We sat there, the napkin pile growing. When we left, she hugged me too quick, like a reflex. That night she texted, not now. Then, love you. Both things true at once. At the shop, something else shifted. I showed up with a clean stomach, no invisible debts pulling at my coat. I put out a new display of marbles that caught light like small planets. A kid pressed his nose to the glass and whispered, wow. A dad asked if we still did birthday bundles. I said yes and added an extra sheet of stickers because I could. My landlord came by. Thinking of selling? He asked, casual. My heart knocked. Should I be worried? He shrugged. Market's weird, but your place brings foot traffic. You're good. That night, I pulled my numbers again. With the outflow stopped, my budget breathed. I added a class, Saturday Fix-It Hour, where kids bring broken toys and I teach them to glue, sand, be gentle. The first Saturday, 7 kids showed up. By week 3, we had 12 and a wait list. Parents stood by the door, sipping coffee, smiling the way people smile when their kids are quiet and careful. One afternoon, a woman came in with a little boy carrying a stuffed dinosaur with one eye missing. "Can you help, Mr. Gary?" he asked like we'd known each other forever. "Let's try," I said. We sat at the repair table. I showed him how to thread a needle. His tongue stuck out in concentration. When we finished, he hugged the dinosaur. Then me. "Quick." His mom tapped the tip jar. "For the kindness fund," she said. I put the bills in the envelope labeled community. That envelope had been thin for months. It puffed up again. On the wall behind the counter, I added another crayon drawing. At home, quiet became my favorite sound. I realized I hadn't cooked a proper dinner in weeks, so I made a pot of soup big enough for leftovers. I ate at the table instead of standing by the sink. I slept through the night. The family took longer to adjust. Mom tried a new angle, nostalgia. "Remember when you scraped your knee and I made popsicles?" she texted. "I do," I replied. Boundaries still stand. She waited a day. Then, "No one will take care of us when we're old." "You're not old," I wrote. "Start today." Dad sent me a link to a tool set he wanted. "On sale," he wrote. "Nice," I replied. Period. Nothing else. Daniel sent paragraph after paragraph. "You embarrass me. You're jealous. You're a child selling toys. Real men provide." I didn't respond. The world didn't end. Mia sent fewer texts, but sweeter. A photo of the bakery window with the apartment sign. Then no comment. A photo of her hand without her wedding ring. Then no comment. Then a photo of the ring on a napkin with the words, "I'm not ready," written in pen. I hearted the photo and wrote, "I'm here. Not money. Not rescue. Just here." 2 weeks later, she asked me to meet her outside her place. She had a duffel bag and a box of shoes. "Don't make a speech," she said. "I won't," I said. We drove to the apartment over the bakery. The landlord, a small woman with a silver braid, showed us a studio with a blue door and a view of the alley with string lights. It smelled like cinnamon. Mia touched the window frame and nodded. "Okay." I paid the deposit. She signed a lease. She cried in the stairwell where no one could see. Daniel called 9 times that night. The 10th time, I picked up. "She's safe," I said. "You think you can steal my wife?" he said. "She's a person," I said. "She can't be stolen. She can choose." "I'll come get her," he said. "She doesn't want that," I said. "I'll talk to your mother," he said, like a threat. "Talk to your father," I said, and hung up. I expected chaos. Instead, it was boring. And boring, I learned, is the opposite of crisis. Mia got a job at a daycare 2 bus stops away. She came by the shop on her lunch break and ate sandwiches behind the counter. We didn't discuss the toilet or the video or the ring. We talked about kids who say paschetti, about which glue works best on plastic dinosaurs. She started to smile like herself again, slow and real. News traveled, as it always does. Our aunt called to say she was proud. Our cousin messaged me that he was reevaluating some stuff. Dad pretended nothing happened. Mom posted a Bible verse about forgiveness on Facebook and tagged no one. Mr. Salman never called me. He sent a message to Mia that said, "Ungrateful girl." She didn't reply. She blocked his number. The group chat went quiet. Then it renamed itself. Not Rising Stars anymore. Just family. No emojis. People think the hard part is the fight. For me, the hard part was the stillness after. The hours where I didn't have to be on call, where I could hear my own thoughts without someone else's emergency scratching at the door. I started keeping a little notebook under the counter at the shop. Not for expenses, for good things. Tuesday, a girl traded 2 rocks for a marble and then brought the marble back and said she missed her rocks. We traded again. Thursday, a dad cried when his son said his new kite was the wind's best friend. Saturday, a teenager bought a puzzle and said, "For my brain." I wrote them down because I used to write bills and bargains disguised as love. This was better. One evening, closing time, I looked at the crayon drawings on the wall and saw there was no space left. A good problem. I moved the bell and hung a new corkboard. I wrote a small sign, proof that people are good. It filled up fast. Mom came by the shop a month later. She hovered near the door like the bell might bite. "Hi," I said. She looked around as if expecting an audience. "You look well," she said. "I am," I said. She picked up a small wooden car and turned it over. "We did not do right by you," she said, plain for once. I didn't rush to fill the silence. She put the car down carefully. "I am learning something," she said. "When I call you only when I need something, You answer less. That's how phones work, I said, and smiled to soften it. She breathed out. Coffee. Sure, I said. But no money talk. No money talk, she repeated. We walked to the bakery downstairs. Mia was behind the counter, hair up, laugh easy. She saw us, and for a second I saw the younger version of us. The kids who shared a torn comic book and a pack of gum. She handed Mom a coffee. On the house, she said. Mom reached into her purse. I'll pay. Mia shook her head. I want to. We sat by the window. The world did not burst into flames. We talked about the weather and muffins and the way the new bus route shaved 8 minutes off the commute. Ordinary miracles. That night, Daniel texted me, "You ruined everything." I stared at the screen for a long minute. Then I deleted the conversation and blocked the number. My hands didn't shake. My chest felt light. At the shop closing time, a little boy rang the bell 3 times because one felt too small. His mom apologized. He's overexcited. That's allowed, I said. He held up a crooked drawing of a train and said, "Can it go on the wall?" Absolutely, I said. He watched me pin it up. It took the last empty space on the new corkboard. Walking home, I called Mia. You good? I'm okay, she said. I signed up for evening classes. Early childhood education. Proud of you, I said. You always say that, she replied. I always mean it, I said. At my apartment, I sat at the table where I used to sort receipts no one respected. I wrote one more thing in my notebook. I'm not an ATM. I'm a person. I can be kind and say no. Both truths fit in one body. I closed the notebook. I slept. Here's the moral, in case you need it as plain as I did. Love without boundaries is just a slow way to drown. Saying no isn't cruelty. It's a life jacket you hand to yourself. And sometimes, the loudest kindness you can offer the people you love is refusing to fund their worst habits. I'm Gary, oldest kid, toy store owner, former family bank, present tense, brother, son, man with a door you can knock on for coffee, conversation, a place to breathe. Not for bailouts. I won't apologize for that. Not now. Not again. And if anyone asks what changed, I'll tell them the truth. I saw my sister on a floor she didn't deserve, and I decided we were done living there.